Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 118. And some interesting developments are starting here. Today is Monday, and as you know by now, I wasn't able to go play yesterday, which is normally one of the bigger days for me. So we're going to make up for it by going tonight. So the schedule for today is going to work. We have our team meeting, which ends around 3. And then managers have another meeting that starts around 3:30. So as soon as that meeting starts, I'll be leaving, and we will be taking an out-of-town trip, obviously. I probably will not be home until 2 or 3 in the morning from there. And even with that, it'll be an abbreviated trip compared to what I normally take. And then I'll get a few hours of sleep, and then Tuesday we'll go to work. We'll have one session Tuesday instead of 2. Then I have a meeting Tuesday evening, and going to try to get one more session in Tuesday night. So things are a little bit awkward there, and then the rest of the week will be normal. Now, next week, though, I may be out of town for 2 or 3 days on a trip. So I may take some sick time for that, and there's some interesting opportunities possible there. Right now, I am on my way to work. It's really early to be going to work, but I had to take a kid somewhere, so obviously I'm not going to go back home and go to sleep, so I'm going to go to work. It is 52 degrees outside. Today's high is only going to be about 66 degrees, so it's going to be a very pleasant day, especially for the things that we do, where I'm in and out and walking a lot, and I don't want to be out in 80-degree temperatures. So looks like a really nice day, almost clear skies, and we're heading out to work. And I have a pile of stuff to do this morning, which in terms of me and my work and how fast I work and everything, is about 2 or 3 hours work, and then we should be good for today. So that's what's going on right now. You're all caught up. I hope you liked that Table for One recording yesterday. I really liked it, and it was interesting as it was going on, as he was updating me along the way. Okay, now we're waiting for them to do this. Now we're thinking this is going to happen. We're trying to find this box and all that stuff. It was kind of fun. So anyway, all right, gonna let you go right now, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. 10:30 a.m. Got all my work done for the day. Normally, I would say I have an afternoon team meeting, but it was canceled. So that is really good, because I do want to get out of the office this afternoon and go on a long trip. I don't know. Do I leave now? I don't think so. They got to see me in the afternoon. So I'm going to head out to a casino right now. That's close enough that I can come back by this afternoon, be seen again, make sure that people see me, and then we will head out for a longer trip today. It will be a little bit abbreviated, because we'd be getting off to like a 6-hour late start. But we're still going to try to get in a couple sessions of blackjack and 3 or 4 sessions of slots and who knows what else. I do have to be back at work tomorrow morning, so leaving in the afternoon and having to be back in the morning will make things a little difficult, but we can make it happen. So that's what's going on right now. I got to tell you, though, what a nice day outside. Almost clear skies, just a couple fluffy clouds in the sky, nice blue sky, 60 degrees. I mean, perfect. If it was like 60 to 65 year round, that would be like the perfect temperature for me. I don't need to be swimming. I don't need to be on the beach or anything like that. I just need some nice, comfortable temperatures. I wanted to tell you too, I just ordered a couple more pairs of jeans, and they don't do the monogramming anymore on the inside of the jeans like they did for a while, where I got my name on the waistband on the inside, which didn't make sense why they would do that in the first place, but They don't offer that anymore. Instead, they offer monogramming, which is like the last thing I want, is to have my initials on my pants. Like, that's a weird thing anyway. But yeah, so I ordered a couple more pairs of jeans. I ordered one new shirt just to see how it would look, because the colors are kind of hard to really see. There's like 5 different similar colors as to what I normally would wear, and I want to make sure I get something that matches what I have already, because I'm probably going to order 8 or 10 of these things. So anyway, that's what's going on right now. We're heading out to the casino, gonna make some money, hopefully get some lunch, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back, and here we are, just leaving the casino. Walked in, went to the area by the door, didn't see anything, went to the high limit area. Got in the high limit area, I found a play at about $20 a spin. And I'm like, I feel really good about this one. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. And so I put in 200 initially in there, and I was getting ready to crack open another wad of money, take a rubber band off some money and put that in there. But I started with the 200, and first spin, I get one of the 2 things that I'd be chasing, and it pays me like, I think I may have taken a picture of it, like nothing, like so little. I'm gonna bring it up here. So it pays $125. A couple more spins and I hit the other thing, and it pays terrible, $158. So I end up barely making any money. I made a couple $100, not even a couple hundred, 100 and whatever. I guess, yeah, about 230 on that. And went around and looked at the rest of the casino and was finding very little. They were all small plays and couldn't really make any money off them. And went and got my food and had a triple cheese, no bun, no fries, and that was pretty good. And then a waitress comes up to me while I'm eating that, and she's like, "Oh, look at you eating healthy." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing my best." She goes, "You're looking good." I'm like, "I know it, baby." No, I'm kidding. She didn't say that. But ended up talking to one of the slot techs, and she was telling me they got a bunch of new games coming in. And I'm like, "Man, are they new games?" She's like, "Oh yeah, they're new." I'm like, "Good, because I'm sick of all these games." And she's like, "Oh yeah, we're getting this and this and this," and it was all the same games again, but we're getting more of them. So hopefully there's some good ones mixed in there, but overall not very good. So I ended my session ahead, $296 overall, and I ended up stopping at a machine on the way out and putting a couple $100s in 1s and 5s in it, just to kind of color them up, so to speak. And got a couple $100 bills for that, just so I'm carrying less money in my pocket. And that's really about it. Right now I'm stuck in traffic trying to get back on the highway to get back to work, but yeah, not much good stuff going on right now. But we'll take the $296. We're not coming back today, because after work I'm heading out of town, further out of town, a whole different direction. So we're gonna hopefully get a couple sessions of blackjack in. It's gonna be a long night, but I think it's gonna be worthwhile. So that's what's going on right now. Just hanging in here, waiting around to get on the highway. Completely stopped traffic, not an inch. So we'll see what happens, and I'll be back to update you. Oh, I wanted to mention also, on my way to this casino, I made it about $250 as well. So just like I said before, you can find different ways to make money. The problem comes down to, what do you have time to do to make money, and you prioritize them by what's going to make you the most money. So I'm going to go back to the office, and I'm going to get my trip booked for next week. We're going to be flying out of town for a few days, and I'll come back and let you know what's going on. Alright guys, I am back. It is 3:15, just leaving. Actually I left at 3, but 3:15 now, leaving the office, and we are going to actually swing by the house because I only have like 5,000 on me, so I need to get some money so that we can travel. And it's on the way anyway. I'm going to go grab some money and hit the road, and it'll be a bit of a drive, and there's going to be rush hour, and it's going to be aggravating and all that stuff, and it's going to be busy, but that's what we need to do. And we need to try to make at least 1,000 or 1,500 today. So one way or another, we're going to go out there and we're going to bust our butt and make some money. But it's not as bad as it sounds, because I've already made about 550 today. Another 1,000 will get us there. I should be able to do that. And then of course tomorrow's going to be a hectic day, but it'll be broken up like this too, where I go to work, go to the casino, go to work, and then meeting, and then maybe travel after that. We'll see. But that's what's going on right now. You're all caught up, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back. I was in there entirely too long, and I only played one thing, and that was just on my way out. But I found a play, and the lady was on it. It was $15 a spin. It was in position. She'd already lost piles of money in this machine. She kept reloading and reloading and reloading for 500 and 500 and 500 and 500, and she ended up involved, from what I understand from her, for $5,500 on this machine. And then it skunked her when it finally hit. It paid her just under $500. So she was down $5,000 on that machine for a $15 per spin play. To not even get a W2 is just obscene. That is so bad. And I've had my rough patches on those too, but I mean, that machine is high variance, but that's a little bit too much, man. That's, come on. It paid less than 35 or 32 bets. After taking all that money, it just gave her the worst of the worst of the worst. And I was hanging around this corner, around that corner, across the casino, where I could see her. It was a high limit machine. I didn't want to get thrown out of there for hanging around or standing behind her or anything. So I was coming and going and walking by and chatting with people, and I put money in a different slot machine, and so I had my voucher ready to go, loaded up, because one thing I was worried about is that I would run out of space in the machine. I don't know how much money people have put in there, but if it only holds 500 or 1,000 bills, and it's in the high limit, it's very possible that it might be close to being full. And I've been there before when a machine's been full, and some people are nice enough to push the bills down for you, and it makes room for one or two more, and then that's when you would put a voucher in. And some people are not, and they tell you you're gonna have to wait, and then they would wait until morning when they come empty out the machine before you could play it. And I've done it before where I've used my points and converted them to money to play on the machine, which is always a bad deal. To be able to play it, to be able to finish a play, so I wouldn't have to wait. But other places, if you're a high enough tier, they'll just empty it for you and give you a fresh one. And why shouldn't it be that way? Why should they limit people to how much money they could lose on that machine? So anyway, I ended up playing one machine for about a minute and ended my session ahead $45, and that's it. That's all. So no money to be made right there. Unfortunately, I would have been pretty upset if I had finally gotten that thing after waiting for 45 minutes, waiting for this lady to get up, and then only get $500. That would have been very depressing. But we are going to continue on. Let's go play some blackjack, baby. Time to play some blackjack. We're moving on to the next city, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. That was, I don't know, interesting, aggravating, weird, strange. It was a lot of things. Loud, that's one thing that it was. And I actually recorded some of it, and unfortunately, the whole time that I recorded it, I did not win a hand. I actually it was a high count, and I thought, it would be kind of cool. Let's record this audio and, see what happens. I get Good hand, dealer wins. I get a blackjack. I take insurance. He doesn't have it. And then I had a soft 19. I take insurance. He doesn't have it. And then he beats me. And I'm like, it was one bad thing after another with the bigger counts. Well, we'll start from the beginning here. So I go and look at slots first. I find nothing. I find a low limit table. Sit down there. There's a brand new shoe. Nobody at the table. It's like all the tables are in one area. This one was kind of off on its own. So I sit down there. I buy in for 400, and I don't know why. Usually I buy in for 300, but on those low limit. But bought in for 400, and I was at that table for quite a while. I guess not too long. Let me look at my notes here. I was at that table for 35 minutes. And I was doing a 1 to 10 spread, and older black guy comes over, sits to my right, and he's playing 2 side bets, slowing down the table, making jokes. The dealer just did not want to listen to his jokes, or she didn't get his jokes, some of his jokes. A younger black girl. She was nice, but I don't think she was in any mood for him. So I'm playing, everything's up and down, down 200 even, down 200 even. I'm not really going anywhere, but I'm not really losing either. She goes on break. Other dealer comes over. The first dealer comes back from break. And this is where I'm trying to figure out what happened here, because somewhere I lost a chip. I don't know. So, unless the other one was 50? I don't know. So anyway, I leave that table ahead 225, but not before a guy comes over. I'm sitting almost at third base, but not quite over. This happened more than once today. The guy squeezes in at third base because obviously I'm an idiot and I can't play the hands the right way, and he doesn't want me to mess up the mojo or to screw up the cards somehow, because I'm not as intelligent as he is. He buys in for 460, which is an interesting number because I see that a lot here. I don't know why. Please tell me what's interesting about 460. I know it's interesting about 420, but I don't know about 460. He buys in for 460, and he loses it in 2 hands. Give me some green, and give me $60 in red. But then he plays 2 hands and loses it. It's like, what are you doing? And then he rebuys and loses and rebuys, and he ends up leaving with some chips. So I rat hole some chips. I look like I'm even when I left, but I'm actually ahead 225. So plus 225 on the first session. I go to the next table, and I still have the chips in my pocket. I have 625 in chips. A purple, a black, and a green. I'm trying to go through this in my head here because I don't know where I screwed this up. It must have been on that last table. Anyway, it all balances out in the end. Sit down, I buy in for 400, and I have it up to like 650. I get a bigger count. I turn on the recording on the phone, and I lose or push, or lose or push. And I had just the one hand where I had a blackjack, and I took even money. And that one was like 250 or something like that on that hand, and even money. So I don't have an odd number. I don't know where that odd number came from. And then I'm just losing. The second half of that shoe, I win 3 hands, and one of the wins is that even money. And then we start the next shoe, and a guy comes over, sits to my left again. I'm sitting almost at third base. Guy comes over and squeezes his way in there. He has to get in that seat. When he can't squeeze in there, he asks me, do you mind if I sit there? Like he's like aggravated with me, like I'm screwing something up for him. Like he had an appointment. He had everything all set up. They've been waiting for him, and I'm screwing up his mojo. I don't know what he thought. But anyway, I move over a couple inches for him, and he sits down, he buys in, and he's not doing well. None of us are doing well. The first guy that was at the table when I came to the table was just finishing up a shoe when I got to the table, and he's playing one side bet. There's only one side bet on this table, but he's playing 1750 or 3250 on the side bet, just to screw with the dealers. So he's playing two hands with 1750 or 3250 on the side bet plus his regular hand. He's going up and down, up and down. He's like, give me $100 change, give me 75 in red and 25 in pink, which dealers can't count in $2.50 increments. So they always screw it up. Takes forever, slows down the table. And I'm like, please, can we please just play a hand? And like I said, I went on that bad run, and I ended up leaving. The count was negative on the next shoe. We were already two decks into it. I went from being ahead to being down 1,100 on this thing, flat betting practically, because the count was low, obviously, or negative. I ended up leaving that table minus 1,100. I had it as 1075. Whatever, I made a mistake or not, I have no clue, but I did cash all the chips in my pocket, so these numbers add up to the right amount at the end. I was at that table for 40 minutes, spreading from 50 to 500, and I left minus 1,100. Go to the next table, and I play that one. I played 50 to 300 on that table, and I bought in for 500 on that table. And I was down 300. I had a $200 hand, and I had to double it. Rebought for 500 more, doubled it. And then from there, the count was going up, and I was winning and up and winning and up and winning. A couple pushes, maybe one or two losses, and I played it until the shoe went severely negative. All of a sudden, at the tail end of the shoe, it went straight down. The pit boss had just put me in for 500. She went over to the other pit because she was doing two pits. And then I immediately needed to rebuy, like within 5 minutes. She came back over, asked me if I had a card. I said no. She starts filling out the paper, all that garbage. And, the description is on there and all that stuff is on there. Anyway, she ends up, so she walks away. And by the end of that shoe, almost at the end of that shoe, I end up coloring up because now we have a big negative count. I had bought in for a total of 1,000 and colored up 3,075 for a profit of 2,075 on that table in 15 minutes. And that one, actually looks like I went 50 to 400 on that one. So overall in blackjack, let's see. So we won 23 and lost 11. So we ended up ahead 1,200 on the blackjack in that spot. And did not play any slots. I looked at slots again before I left. Couldn't find anything. Ended up leaving without playing any slots. So that's where we are right now. We're going to head out to another place, and I'll be back to update you. And I don't know if I'll include the audio. I think it is not going to be good. I'll listen to it, but most likely will not include it in the podcast, but we'll see. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back, and pretty late, almost 11 right now. Just leaving this place, and not really much happening in there. Blackjack tables are garbaggio, and slots are pretty much picked over, and I was in there for probably 40 minutes or so. I played two machines and ended ahead $30, so plus 30 there. I also had some dinner there, and we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, not really much happening right now. Plus 30 at that location. We're going to add a casino that we normally don't go to, and why not? We're already out, right? It's already late. What the heck? We get home in time to go to work. Don't worry, everything's all right. So, and we do have to leave work early tomorrow, actually. So, yeah, we're going to move on. We're going to try to get some more blackjack in. We'll see if we can get another session in at this other place. I don't really like it that much, but if we can make another 300 or 400 would be really nice. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to head out that direction. We're going to try to make some more money playing blackjack. and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back, and here's a story for you. It's something that's never ever happened to me before, and I would wager that it's probably never happened to any Advantage player, and I would wager that it's probably never happened to any blackjack player. What just happened to me? I go into this casino, walking around looking at machines. I'm not finding anything. I see a guy I know, I say hello, continue on, go through everything, find nothing, decide I'm going to play some blackjack. I go to the blackjack area. Again, it's a casino I don't play very often, I don't like it. I see the manager there, he's a friend of mine, fist bumps me. I go to the blackjack table, I buy in for $400. I sit down, I put my bet out. First hand, dealer gets a blackjack. Okay, nothing unusual. Second hand, I get a 10 and a 7 against the dealer ace. No, second hand, I got a blackjack, right? So I'm up like 25 or whatever, 12.50. Anyway, so third hand, I have a 17, dealer has an ace up, flips over a 6, so he's got a soft 17. This is a stay on soft 17. I've been going to this casino for years. He hits it, gets an 8. I'm like, wait a minute, did they change it? And he's like, oh man. So the pit boss comes over. I said to the pit boss, he took a card, it's not a big deal. I said, I think you should let him finish the hand, let him keep taking cards until he gets 17 or bust. And the dealer said, the pit boss said, no, we gotta push it, which I assumed was the case. Next hand, I have an ace 3 against the dealer 3. Ace 3 against the dealer 3. So I have a 4, right? There's no way anyone is not gonna hit this, right? Anyone in their right mind anyway. So I give this the signal to hit it, and he flips his card over. He's got a 13. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And then he draws another card. He draws an ace, and I'm like, now what? So pit boss comes over again. So they said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, at this point, let him finish out the hand, and because now he's got a 14 against my soft 13. I really was a little flustered there. I guess I should have said I want to hit it, but I figured he's going to bust now. So the pit boss goes, okay. So he tells him to go ahead and finish it out. He hits it, gets an 18, and he voids the hand. He gives me my money back. All right. Next hand, I don't even know what I had, but the dealer had an ace up. I must have had, I don't know what I even had. I think I had an 18. The dealer had an ace up, and he flips over a 7 for an 18, and then hits it and gets a 21. I'm like, whoa, hey, ho, wait a minute here. I call the pit boss over again. He voids that hand, which was a push anyway. I said to the dealer, look, I think you need a break or something. I said to the pit boss, don't be mad at him. He looks like a good guy and everything. Give him a break. Let him go relax for a little bit and come back. Everything's fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to color up and go. At this point, this shoe is so messed up. We've already used like 6 aces the first 5 hands. It is a negative count, I think. I don't remember now. But I'm like, I don't want to stay here and play this anymore. How many more mistakes is this guy going to make? And is he going to draw attention to me when they keep reviewing all these things? So I ended up leaving. On my way to cash out, I have $4.25, of course. So I made a quarter. On my way to cash out, I see the pit boss, who's the manager, who's a friend of mine. And I say, you won't believe what just happened to me. And I kind of tell him the story. And he's like, oh, man. I'm like, no, man, don't be mad at him or anything. It's not a big deal. I'm cool. He's like, No, he was out here in this area with the easier tables, and I thought I'd give him a chance. It's a high limit, and I'm just gonna move him back. I won't tell him that you said anything. I'm like, dude, just give him a chance back there. It's all right. He's just a little nervous. He's like, no, I'm just gonna tell him surveillance called me, and I'll give him some pointers about what to do, and I'll send him back to the lower tables. And I felt a little bit bad for the guy. He was a nice guy. I wasn't mad at him. It's just the way things were working out. I was going to be, first of all, I was just like off at that point. And then I'm going to get attention, and the pit boss is going to come around more often. I'm going to lose. I'm going to be down, or I'm going to win, and they're going to start looking at my game. So there was really no real good way to proceed from there. So I ended up leaving. So I ended the session ahead, $25, spreading from $50 up to $50. My low was 0. My low was minus 50. My high was plus 25. And I left plus 25 in like 5 minutes, 5 hands, 5 minutes. So it took a while for every hand because every hand was screwy. But I've never had that happen before. If you've had something like that happen to you, like that many hands in a row, let me know. I don't know of anybody who's had that happen, that many hands in a row. Maybe in an hour or two, if it's a real bad dealer, but that was a little bit ridiculous. So anyway, gonna let you go. Moving on to another casino, and I'll be back to update you. All right, boys and girls, time for story number 2. Wow. I just went to this gas station because I was thirsty, and I got some fuel. I go in, get a drink. I see this nice Gatorade Zero, and they're 3 for $6. They're like the big ones. So I got those. I was all excited. And then I go to the register, and I see these Cracklins. You know what Cracklins are? They're awesome. That's what they are. You should look them up. Cracklins for $1.49. How could you not go for that? So I got the Cracklins. I go to the register, and there's like this big scale. And I'm like, what is this? And the guy's like, just put all the stuff on the scale. I'm like, put it on the scale? Okay. He said, it weighs everything, and it's got cameras all the way around, and it knows what everything is. So you just throw everything on the scale, and it has all these cameras from different angles, and it knows the weight, and it tells you the total instantly. It puts everything up on the screen, and it tells you the total instantly. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. I've never seen that before. So I hand him some money, and he's like, oh, no. You got to put the money in the slot right there. He goes, you can just put all the bills in all at one time. It doesn't have to be one at a time. So I put the money in. He gives me my change. So all he did basically was tell me to put it there and put my stuff in a bag. That's it. And I mean, is this guy looking for another job? Is his job pretty much obsolete? Probably. I mean, if the scale is smart enough to do that, then it's not going to be long before it knows if you're stealing something or not. It knows, it's got facial recognition, I'm sure, all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, the only thing they need this guy for is to stock shelves temporarily until these new Tesla robots come out, which should be out in a year or two, and they're going to be replacing this guy. That's unbelievable. So, yeah, I kind of felt like a really old guy with this guy walking me through. Oh yeah, no, just put it on the scale there. It knows. No, it's okay, sir. It knows. Don't worry, sir. You know, so that was me. I'm the old man. So, all right, I'm going to have me some Cracklins and some lime Gatorade Zero, and I'll be back with you. All right, guys, I am back, and interesting visit. I go in, I'm looking around, I see a play right away. It's $3 a spin. I play that one through and end up down about $50, $51, something like that. Go around looking again, and I see this guy that I know, and I stop and talk to him. And he's like, "You see that lady over there?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You see what she's playing?" I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "It was at this, and she left it." I'm like, "Okay, and you played it?" He's like, "No." He said, $8 a spin. I'm not playing that. I'm like, "Are you crazy?" So then she got back on there right when I came over, and she played it through, and I don't know what the win amount was, but it had to be pretty sizable. So unfortunately, that was a missed opportunity by about 5 minutes. And then so I asked him, I said, "Is there anything else going on here?" And he's like, "No, not really." I said, "So you've already checked this machine? It's like 10 steps away from us." And he's like, "No, I didn't check that." I'm like, "Okay." He said he's been there for 6 hours and he's up $100. But he's standing 10 feet away from a machine and he didn't check it. So I checked it and I found a play on it and I lost another $50. So now I'm down like $90 or $95, somewhere in there. So I'm like, okay, so walk around, find another play, lose $10 more. So I'm like, oh well, we're going in the wrong direction here, but hopefully things will turn around. And he said, "Well, I'm about to leave." He said, there's nothing left here for me." So I'm like, "All right, well, have a good night. I'll see you later." And so I go into the high limit area, and there's a machine there that's about $20 a spin, and it's a little bit off where it needs to be a play, but I thought it would be a good play at the time. So I put my voucher in. I think my voucher was like $275.90, because here's a picture of it. I had bought in for a total of $400, so I was down. Oh yeah, I did my math wrong. So I was down $125, $124. So I go to this machine, I play. First spin, I hit it, and it pays $1,676.25. And due to that, that was the last play. I actually looked at other stuff before I left, and there was nothing else. And I ended up leaving the session ahead $1,552. $1,552. So that definitely helps out quite a bit. And I don't know where we are for the day, but we got to be up 3,000, right? Let me see. Put this in here: 1552, 1575, 16, 1875, 19. Wait a minute here. 1552, 1575, 1600, 2636, 37, 39, 29, 28, about 2800. Was that it? Yeah, about 2800 for the day. So you gotta love that. Very nice. So ended up being that doesn't include this morning, which was 300. That takes us to 31. And the online stuff, I did another 250 or so, 3350 for the day. So beautiful day, very unexpected. But guys, I gotta be at work in like 6 hours, so I gotta head home, unfortunately. But we got some stuff to talk about. What did you eat today, MW? Well, today I had a large pepperoni and cheese pizza, extra pepperoni, extra cheese, no crust. It was pretty good. Normally my stomach would hurt after eating all that grease, but I felt pretty good. I give that a 9 on a scale of 2 through ace. And what did you tip today, MW? And as you know, I had 3 sessions of blackjack. I had 4 sessions. First one I won a little bit, second one I lost a lot, third one I won a lot, and the fourth one was a disaster because the guy didn't know how to deal. And with all those combined, I ended up tipping a total of $0. But But I did win a jackpot, and I felt bad for her because there was something wrong with the computer, and it was taking forever. And I actually felt more bad for me at first because I was afraid that something had happened. But it was just the computer was messed up. It took her a long time. So I ended up tipping her $15 instead of $10. So $15 out of that money still did pretty well today. And really, I think that's gonna be about it. It was a lot more interesting than I thought it would be today. And now we have to head home, got to get a little bit of sleep, and go to work tomorrow and do it all over again. So I'm still many hours away from home, but I don't think I need to extend this anymore. I'm going to let you go. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.